it's a grassroots movement. There ain't no leaders. Okay? It's not top down like's been done before with one person. This is from the bottom up. That's why it's spread, and that's why it's gotten stronger. Nobody believes we're going to win, except a few of us. We're going to beat them. It's going to take time. Anybody that gets in touch with us that thinks this is going to be over in 6 months, you're out of your mind. Don't bother. Don't waste my time. Don't waste Luis's time. All right? This is a war. It's going to take a long time to beat this industry down. This industry has had its own way for 44 years, and they've done just what they want to our working conditions. Now we're going to fight back. And I think this time, with good hard work, we can do it. Let's be smart about this, brothers and sisters. They always call us dumb truck drivers. Let's show them we ain't dumb truck drivers. We're damn sight smart. We've survived this bloodbath so far. Now let's take back our power.
What's going on, Mutha Truckers? Welcome to Mutha Trucker News. Email us at muthatruckernews@gmail.com. So today we have two special guests. You know, truck drivers across Mexico and America are just sick of the same thing. Low wages, the conditions, you know, freight broker transparency, carrier transparency, shipper transparency, all of it above. Truck drivers feel that they're getting the short end of the stick. And so we have Billy and Luis on the show today to talk about how we can make a change for all truck drivers on both sides from America and Mexico. And hopefully Canada can join, where a meeting of the minds can happen, where we can start fighting back and making a difference in the trucking industry. And where they're starting first is in Texas, and they are targeting the oil fields.
We're done. We've had enough. All right. The bloodbath that's been going on in the industry for the last few years, destroying what little working conditions we had, is not going to stop. Not unless truck drivers, owner-ops, small fleet owners, company drivers come together and organize and put an end to this. Take back the power that we had once many, many decades ago. As we said a little more than a year ago in Washington, D.C., in front of the ATA's building and at the Department of Transportation, we poured a 5-gallon bucket of dirt on the ground. We drew a line in it, and about 75 drivers and supporters stepped over the line calling out overtime for truck drivers, enforce our right to see the shipper's bill of freight, and end the abuse of drivers.
All hours work, all hours paid. All hours work, all hours paid. All hours work, all hours paid. We step back again. All hours paid. All hours work, all hours paid. Know we're coming. We're going to take back our power and our respect.
We're treated nothing more proper, and I think the lion's share of us would agree with that. We're done with this now. West Texas, the largest oil and gas reserve in the continental United States, we're going up against y'all. Y'all treating drivers like Luis and all the others out here, a couple of thousand drivers, like nothing more than slaves, sitting in the sand pits, the wellheads for up to 36 hours a day without being compensated for waiting time, loading and unloading, no deadhead pay, and you've dropped the rates by 50%, while oil is still at a high price, and you're all making money. Not to mention the fact that you all are destroying the groundwater in this part of the country with your leaks from your abandoned oil wells. Y'all need to clean up that mess. All right. We're here to tell drivers there's a hell of a lot of fear out here, brothers and sisters. We're all afraid of retaliation. We're all afraid of losing our livelihood. But you know what? A time comes when you got to say, we got nothing to lose anymore. We got no choice. We got to organize and stand up and fight. A lot of us are going to hide in the bushes. But there's a whole lot of us that are coming out in Mexico and in the U.S., ready to fight the industry. We want, here in West Texas, restroom facilities for the men and women. All right, proper restroom facilities, not no damn Porto Johns. We want, like they have at events, hot and cold running water, air conditioning, paper towels, or air, soap, private. We want to be paid for every minute we're on the clock. All right. We're tired of not having any money to fix our trucks, not having any money to buy our kids clothes or something. All right. We want to see the shipper's bill of freight that's being paid by the oil companies and the oil service companies to the frac sand mines and the carriers that are stealing from us. Anytime we've seen it, and we've only seen it once, they're paying for our time waiting, loading and unloading. We want that money. It belongs to us. The industry and the government are nothing more than a corrupt operation like RICO, like organized crime, robbing and stealing from truck drivers across the United States and all of North America. We're done. We're done. Come join us, brothers and sisters. It's going to be a long, hard fight. A war like this doesn't end quickly. Dig your feet in the ground. Plant them tires on the blacktop. And let's do this together. We're fighting for justice and a life for ourselves and our families and our communities where we live. Luis, ¿quieres hablar sobre nuestra lucha un poquito?
Sí, Alex, mi inglés no es bueno, discúlpame, lo voy a decir en español. Sí, la lucha se está haciendo
Sí.
para que es una falta de respeto a nuestro trabajo. Aquí más que nada la familia es la primera que sufre porque no hay dinero para nuestra familia, para nuestros camiones. Muchos camioneros estamos perdiendo nuestro trabajo, ya sea porque no tenemos dinero para arreglar nuestros camiones. El camión está quebrado en el chat. Otros no tienen dinero para pagar la aseguranza. El diésel está cada vez más caro. Y esta lucha, la que estamos haciendo es para tratar de que nuestros trabajos se respeten. Más que nada nuestra familia, como dije, es la primera que sufre. Y esta es una marcha pacífica que pues, estamos tratando de que se unan todos los camioneros, pero aquí pasa algo de que si hay protestas, muchos pierden su trabajo. No podemos protestar porque las compañías luego empiezan a correr. En mi caso fue uno de ellos que protesté y me corrieron del trabajo. Y esto es más que nada esta marcha la que se está haciendo para que se respete, no nomás a nosotros, respete a toda nuestra familia porque es la que sufre más.
I think Luis said it beautiful. And I should say in English, Luis participated in a protest last August against a big company out here in West Texas. 30 drivers were fired for that. There's now a labor board case at the National Labor Relations Board over those firings for protesting unjust working conditions. Brothers and sisters, don't be afraid anymore. We're family. There ain't nobody like truck drivers. All right? We see each other in truck stops. We say hi. You know, we hold the door for one another. We're family. Come join the family. Truckers Movement for Justice, Tamaksun, Citrabix. It's never happened before where truck drivers from both sides of the border have united like this. It's time for this to end. Let's take the first steps. We promised the government and the industry last year, we're going to begin to attack your economy. And we've got 4 states in mind. And when we're done, we're going to devastate the economy. Texas is where we're hitting first. Brothers and sisters like Luis and the others here are strong. They're not afraid anymore. We need you not to be afraid too. Stand in solidarity with us. We're going to have a lot of people that are going to support this fight. I want to salute Mutha Trucker News. I want to thank you. And if you got any questions for me or Luis, please.
No, I appreciate you. I just want to give you guys the platform, right? Because in my mind, I know what some of the comments will say, right? Some will say, And I've read, when I talked about this topic a little bit, they said, well, some believe that prices are down because of, drivers from Canada and Mexico and other countries are bringing rates down. That's what they're thinking. And so when I saw that you guys were both coming together and saying, no, we're both hurting out here. We all want better pay. It gave a new understanding. And so that's why I wanted you on the show as well, to let people know that, it's everyone wants to make a good living. No one wants to do things for free. You know what I mean? And also, with this movement, is there a way for people to contact you guys? People, people are in fear of their jobs, right? And sometimes I almost feel like if there's not enough people involved, they're too scared to get involved. I don't know if that's if that's the feeling that you felt, the sentiment that you felt from other things. Would you call this a protest? What is this? And so that people have a great understanding of this, right?
It's a vision. It's a dream of justice, a dream of a better life for ourselves, our families, our communities where we live, and not just for us. Luis has a 16-year-old son. What about him? What about when he has children? Where's our future? They've taken it away from us. They've destroyed us. This is a dream. We've held this dream alive for almost 20 years now. And since the resurgence began 3.5 years ago in the port of Baltimore with two people, they got out of their cars and they stood with signs. And both signs said the same thing. Truck drivers deserve respect. Port truckers strong. And the resurgence began after that. We've never before done this the way we've done it. We've united with other labor organizations, and we've united across a border. Mexican drivers want the same thing we want. We've allowed them to play each other against one another. Immigrant drivers against American drivers. Why? When we all want the same thing, a decent life. By uniting across borders, we can fight for that life. They won't be able to pit Mexican drivers against American drivers and American drivers against Mexican drivers. They'll have no choice but to set a national accord, a binational accord, establishing conditions like we once had in this industry. Let me translate to Luis to see if he would like to make a comment too. Luis, estoy hablando sobre nuestra visión, nuestro sueño de la lucha de nosotros y el movimiento. Y antes tenemos mexicanos contra gente de EU, pero ahora somos unidos, somos juntos. Es historia. Y yo quiero saber si tienes un comentario de eso, de nuestra visión.
Sí, nuestra visión es, pues como tú dices, Alex, nos gustaría tener que nos uniéramos tanto los choferes de México y todo, porque es una comunidad muy grande, truck drivers, Mexican, American. Estamos desempeñando un trabajo para el beneficio de todo Estados Unidos, en cualquier parte, ya sea over the road, local. Nosotros hacemos cualquier cosa de libre, ya sea comida, construcción, y estamos tratando de que nuestro trabajo, como dije, se beneficie y que se nos valore, porque lo merecemos, porque muchas veces estamos fuera sin ver a nuestra familia por mucho tiempo, estando en las 24 horas en un camión. Y nuestra visión es que por lo menos se nos recompense algo de ese trabajo que estamos haciendo, porque estamos haciendo un beneficio para la comunidad, para aquí, estamos aportando algo, ya sea transportando todo lo que necesitamos aquí en Estados Unidos o en cualquier otra parte. El camionero es el que mueve Estados Unidos, el que movemos todo, y nos gustaría que se nos respetara nuestro trabajo.
Truck drivers want to understand what something's about before they get involved, right? You know, truck drivers, yeah, we know they get nervous. They don't want to shut down. They don't want to block traffic. They don't want to do any of these type of things, right? And they want to figure out how they can help, because when you hear the words want broker transparency, want better work conditions, and want better pay, right? I mean, I think we hit the nail on the head that all truck drivers across the board want these things, right? And so a little bit is the vision of how that could get done, right? And that's the big thing, because I've been making videos a long time myself, and I know that a lot of times the naysayers will say, well, what are we going to do about it? What are we actually going to do about it? And how's this really going to help, right? Because they've heard some things before, and they get nervous, and they don't know how to actually help make a difference, right? But they of course don't want to lose their jobs as well, right? Or their contracts or what. Mhm. So
Little by little, Alex, there's a multiple things that drivers have been doing to fight back for the last 40 years have been unsuccessful because there's been no organization behind them. They've not organized first. Truck drivers are very good at staging protests without demands. And the industry and the government know this, and they ignore it, as we've seen many times.
Right.
TMJ and Tom Exoon and Citrabix have spent years organizing first. We've staged a couple of little protests here and there, but we've developed demands based on meetings drivers have held all around the country and Mexico to develop a platform with which to come together and discuss ideas about what change we'd like to see in the industry. What change is, I should say. We've arrived at that. We're looking to set standards for the industry, standards that once existed, whereby a driver understands what he or she is going to be able to earn on a particular run. All right. We have the right to see the shipper's bill of freight, codified in law under the Motor Carrier Act. All right. Never enforced by the federal government. Okay. And there have only been 2 court cases recently. One recently, one's a decade or so ago. Both have been successful challenging and enforcing our right to see what the shippers pay to brokers and carriers. All right. We need to see that bill. We need to see what the shippers are paying in fuel surcharge, for detention, and everything. Brothers and sisters, don't accept line haul freight anymore. You're giving away your right to be paid detention on a line haul. You're not seeing what the shipper is paying for fuel surcharge. It's got to be itemized, my brothers and sisters. Our strategy is simple, multi-pronged, legal. Hit them with lawsuits in various parts of the country, in federal court, over the shipper's bill of freight. All right. Wage theft, meaning detention. All right. Tie up the federal courts and then hit them economically. We don't want drivers to lose their trucks. We want you to think. Where do we hit? Do we go out on? I've heard the calls the last few years. I've been asked by many people that are very well known among truck drivers. Billy, call for a nationwide shutdown. No, that's not the answer. How about we pick parts of the economy and we stage organized small demonstrations to disrupt that part of the supply chain. And we do it with clear, concrete demands and a desire to negotiate a written binational agreement to protect the rights of drivers here and in Mexico, and establish working conditions that meet the necessities of our lives. Okay, that's where we're coming from. We don't want a nationwide strike. That ain't going to do shit. They'll call out the National Guard in every state. Drivers will lose their trucks. Look what happened in Canada during the pandemic with the mask mandate. Them drivers are still on trial up there. All right, they lost everything. Why do we want? I don't want Luis to lose everything. I've met his family. I don't want Hollywood to lose everything. None of us do. How about we do this, everybody? We look at TMJ, Tamexun Citrabix, as a giant truck stop. There's a big tent in the middle of that yard. Big table there with lots of chairs. Not enough for all of us. But how about we come to that table and put our ideas on the table? Now, some of our ideas are not going to be accepted. But the most important thing is to turn around on that fuel island when you're fueling your truck and tell the brother or sister next to you, something's going on here. There's some smoldering in the woods. There's some sparks being lit. We need to pay attention to what's going on, and maybe we can help. Does that mean the sister from San Diego who's running the ports is going to come running over here, deadheading, all right, to stand in solidarity with the drivers here in West Texas? No. It means you can show your support, though, to your friends. Spread the message. Spread the vision. We're fighting back now. There's an old labor saying. It's called an injury to one is an injury to all. We've embellished that a little bit. Hit one of our drivers. Hit one of our organizations anywhere. We'll unleash a hell on you that you'll never see before. And we can do it. Like Luis said, we carry the economy on our backs. And our backs are broken right now. So now we fight back. I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense to target the supply chain, the key elements of the supply chain, and disrupt it. Not one day. Disrupt it. Last Monday, a few of us created a little stir out here in West Texas. Ain't never been anything like that. Now we're getting ready to hit again out here. And then we're getting ready to move up to another state that's heavily energy production. Then back here. We're just going to keep. It's guerrilla warfare. Keep hitting them. Don't jeopardize everybody. Everybody hit and then go back. Go back to work. All right. Luis was at work today. All right. He's home now, so he was able to jump on with me. All right. This is war. And I said it before. Okay. The only way we win is if drivers begin to realize we all are afraid. But what are we afraid of? I can tell you right now, they're more afraid of us than we are of them. And we need to wake up to that reality.
No, I hear that. So it's like you said, it's not a protest. This is a movement to get all truck drivers together to meeting of the minds. Because it's so easy to say we're not happy with the pay. We'd like broker transparency. We would like all these things, but until you really get down and get on paper and really figure out what it is that truck drivers need, then where can they go to get this information of the meeting of the minds? Well, what websites? I'll link it down, but what websites, what groups?
You can speak, if you're in the United States, you can Google us, or you can just give us a shout at 845-768-0416. If you're in Mexico, Google Citrabix and Tamexun. Speak with Brother Manuel and Brother Jesus. Let's join together this time. Let's put political differences and stripes aside. This is not about politics. This is about economic power. Those puppets in Washington, D.C., they ain't going to do anything. Can't run to the government. They ain't going to do nothing. They're controlled by the corporations. Luis, yo quiero, estamos hablando otra vez sobre nuestra organización y cómo vamos a hacer la lucha poco por poco aquí, allá, unido. No todos, no para el trabajo en todos los dos países, pero atacar la economía en secciones, ok, poco por poco, porque el movimiento, el lucha es duro. Tiene que quieres tener comentario de eso, de nuestra manera de haciendo, especialmente Luis, sus palabras de su corazón en la última semana, que me ayude cuando yo lea eso.
Sí, pienso que poco a poquito vamos haciendo esta comunidad de traileros más fuertes, gracias a Alex que nos apoya, y tú, Billy, como cabeza de toda esta manifestación. Nos estamos haciendo poquito y poquito más fuerte, gracias también a los medios de que nos dan para transmitir el mensaje que estamos dando, y eso es lo que pienso que va a ser el cambio. Billy.
I think, go ahead, Luis, lo siento. I think, Alex, I'd like to say thank you to you again. You know,
No problem.
please do send us the link. All right. And we're going to see you real soon again.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna.
We're coming back in the next week or so again out here.
Okay,
And then
I'll
we're
post. I'll post your. What you can do for me, Billy. Text me all the information, email, Facebook groups, what have you, of everything, and then I'll put that in the descriptions and in the pinned comment, so people can support. I think you guys are onto something as far as, the days of just, trying to block traffic and do this and that. I mean, we're realizing that doesn't work, but getting
Them
the
days
meeting
are
of the
over.
minds,
them days are over.
but getting the meeting of the minds
We
of people.
organize.
Yep.
We set up the organizations in every state and every part of Mexico, and we make sure the communication is it's a grassroots movement. There ain't no leaders. Okay. It's not top down like's been done before with one person. This is from the bottom up. That's why it's spread, and that's why it's gotten stronger. Nobody believes we're going to win, except a few of us. We're going to beat them. It's going to take time. Anybody that gets in touch with us that think this is going to be over in 6 months, you're out of your mind. Don't bother. Don't waste my time. Don't waste Luis's time. All right. This is a war. It's going to take a long time to beat this industry down. This industry has had its own way for 44 years, and they've done just what they want to our working conditions. Now we're going to fight back. And I think this time, with good hard work, we can do it. Let's be smart about this, brothers and sisters. They always call us dumb truck drivers. Let's show them we ain't dumb truck drivers. We're damn sight smart. We've survived this bloodbath so far. Now let's take back our power.
I hear
Alex,
that.
I will send you information by email. Luis, gracias por tu hacer el último comentario, Luis, por favor.
Gracias, Alex, por tu apoyo. Billy, tú por ser el líder de esta comunidad de protesta que nos estás ayudando.